Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, in the previous part, we have created three types of lines. Okay, so with or without arrowheads. And let's say if I click on the double arrow line, okay, I'm able to draw it. And I deactivate, I can select them. Okay, if I draw a single arrow, able to draw it. Alright, but let's say if I do not press a deactivate button and let's say I want to draw a double arrow. So if I do this, now we have this strange behavior over here. Okay, and we need to rectify this. So what happens is when we press the deactivate button, alright, all this coding is executed and we actually switch off these three mouse events for drawing the line. Alright, but if I did not click on this deactivate button and I just click on another button, alright, so previously let's say I click on the double arrowhead button, I activated these three mouse events, and now I click on the single arrowhead line button, I would activate another set of mouse events for this single arrowhead line. Okay, but I have not, or rather I did not switch off the previously mouse events for the double arrowhead line. So it means that I actually have 6 mouse events occurring. Okay, so the first 3 mouse events are actually for the double arrowhead, and the other 3 are the mouse events for the single arrowhead. So these 6 mouse events are occurring at the same time. So we actually need to switch off all these mouse events from the previously click button. Okay, and how we can do this, alright, is first, what I want to do is to write an external function, okay, for this deactivate button. And we can do it over here. So function, let's say deactivate mouse events. So this should be deactivate mouse events. And we will just move this here. Alright, and this will just refer to this click event. Okay, link this click event with this function like this. Alright, so nothing changes. Okay, so when I click on this deactivate button, this function will be executed. So all the mouse events for whatever line that I'm drawing would be switched off. But now, let's say if I do not click this button, I want to switch off all these mouse events. So this function must be executed over here as well. Alright, so now let's look at this. So double arrow, so I click on the single arrow. Okay, we do not have that issue anymore. But now there's another issue, is that okay, I'm able to select all of these objects, alright, as I draw, and I do not want that. So when I click on any of these buttons, what I want is to make all the objects unselectable. And this is how we can do it. So canvas.getObjects.forEach. So O is our object. And we make O.selectable equals to false. Alright, but this is not sufficient. Okay, why so? So let's say if I click on, okay, all this, now we still have some of the objects that are selectable. In fact, all of the objects are still selectable. And why is this so? Is because, alright, when we have the mouse up event, alright, our single arrows and our double arrows needs to be unselectable as well. So let's go to the mouse up event over here. Okay, so our line is not selectable. Okay, but we want our single arrow to also not be selectable. Same for the double arrow. Alright. Now when we do this, as you can see, if I'm near to any of the objects, I'm not able to select them. Okay, if I click on the double arrow, I'm near to any of the objects, I'm not able to select them as well. But now if I click on the deactivate button, okay, I still can't select them. So we need to make all the objects selectable back again, and that will be in the deactivate mouse events. So O.selectable is only true when the object has an ID of added line. But we want it to be for all objects. And therefore, we just have this. Okay, so now all the objects are selectable. So if I draw my lines, the objects are not selectable. But if I deactivate, now all my objects are selectable. Now another thing is I want to show the borders. Alright, so that we would visually know what is the object that we have selected. Okay, and we can do it over here. So O.has borders, borders should be true. Alright, in the deactivate button. So let's say this. Okay. Now as you can see, the borders are visible. Alright. Now some of you might ask, why not the controls? Okay, so let's say if I have O.has controls equals to true. So the controls are this. Okay, as you can see all these small squares over here. We are able to scale it. We are able to rotate. But because these are lines, okay, or arrow lines, we do not want to scale and rotate it. Alright, so in the next video, I will talk about how to redraw all these lines. Let's say if we have drawn wrongly, but we lift up the mouse button, okay, and we want to re-edit that line, we can actually do it in a different way by redrawing it instead of scaling it and so on. Okay, so the has controls, okay, we do not have this property. Alright, we do not make it true. So now we would just see the borders. Alright, okay. So another thing that I want to talk about is to show the length and the angle of the line as we draw it. So let me illustrate it over here. So let's say if I have a line, as you can see, I have a container that shows the length in pixels and the angle of the line. Alright, so we will do this in the next part of the video as well. Okay, so see you soon.